Hello everybody, how are you? It always feels like it's been a very long time since I filmed. I always feel like apologizing, and anyway, I'm sorry it's been such a long time. This is a 1 year, 5 month update, and I was looking back at my photos in my phone just to help me remember, what I should include. I think this is going to be a bit more real time. The last couple videos I posted, especially the 1 year update, it was posted like months later. So I have a bit of a headache, so I'm trying to drink some ginger tea. I'm trying it out. I noticed the last couple times I had a headache and I drank ginger tea, it seemed to help. Now the sun came out and everything looks yellow. Hopefully I can fix the color a little bit while I'm out editing. A lot has happened for sure. The first 2 months after that, I don't remember very well what I did or what happened, but a lot of snow. It was beautiful. Yeah, that's right. It was a beautiful winter as far as snow goes, but again, it made it a little bit harder to go out and get some exercise. And then spring came, and I was able to get out more. 1 year, 3 months. In that time period, I was struggling a lot. Biggest way I was struggling is I was having trouble going to work. And so I would often just feel emotionally, very weak and not, wanting to go in and see people. And also physically, I felt ill. Most of the time it was physical and emotional. So it was like I was having headaches, or I was having stomach aches, or like I needed to be near the bathroom because I was maybe needing to use it, urgently. So a lot of like upper GI, lower GI stuff, and just the general feeling of not being well and kind of sick to your stomach, but not badly, but like definitely. And headaches and a lot of joint pain. Like I was having a lot of pain throughout the body. It's probably musculature too, but a lot of joint pain. So I would call in sick more often than I wanted to. It got so bad, like I was in bed for probably 36 hours or something, almost 2 full days. I would get up just to eat and go to the bathroom and drink, but I just stayed in bed, didn't go anywhere, and and I just felt so sick, like sick to your, like inwardly sick inside. And so I was just thinking to myself, you know what? I'm self-diagnosing here. I think it's the hormones, and I'm thinking I'm so sad, right, and depressed and unhappy that I'm making myself sick. And I thought, if I keep going down this road, it's gonna get bad. I think I can actually create an actual medical condition if I don't change my ways. And so that I missed work. I canceled. That was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I can't remember. And then on Sunday, I went to church, and, I've been sharing with people what I've been going through, but you know what I mean? Like, how it is. Way more than 1 year later, people don't ask you anymore. They don't ask you how you're doing. They don't want to bring it up. And so I just, shared with, a bunch of us, like a large group of us were eating together, and everyone was talking and sharing and asking questions, and I just shared with the whole group that I'm not doing well with my grief. I haven't been well, and I'm not doing well. And then that day, I think people have been praying for me, because I am a Christian. They have been praying for me, and it's been helping tremendously. But I think that day, several people started praying for me even more fervently, or new people started praying for me. And also that day, a good church friend invited a few of us out to the country club, and we all, had a full day out. It was gorgeous weather. It was in May, It was gorgeous weather. It was pretty hot, a little bit hot actually. And so it was just a complete scene change, you know what I mean? Like it was, we just did it all in the spur of the moment, and there were a few of us. We all had our own personal stories, all really, really beautiful ladies on the inside, but all having, you know, some struggles. Several of them were grief related. So anyway, that was a turning point for me. It was great to spend time with, you know, positive ladies. After that, I just found it much easier to go to work. I didn't feel that kind of almost paralyzing grief, you know, that feeling that makes you feel like doing nothing, or that makes you feel so sad. And you know, it was much, much better. It was maybe still there a tiny bit way in the back of my mind, but first of all, I had realized, you know, a few days before that, that I was going down a dangerous path, you know, and I did want to do something about it. I had that inner will, and then having this boost, and then also the support, and you know, a few of us ended up checking on each other a bit more regularly, you know. So you know, having genuine, loving, sincere, you know, raw, mature people around you, it helps a lot. If you don't have that, having other animals near you helps a lot. So, you know, one or the other, it helps a lot. So anyway, that was a big turning point. After that, weeks and weeks went by, and I just didn't struggle as badly, and I started to feel a little better. And I had said this before, but I was doing it even more aggressively, that if there were any social you know, opportunities, like invitations, I tried my best not to turn it down. And so you know, it was nice to do a little bit of different things, hang out with different groups of people, you know, change scenery, all that. It was great. My birthday passed. That was a little bit, you know, tricky. Mother's Day passed. It was a bit tricky, you know. So, you know, a few things passed along the way. I went on a trip to California, again, visiting family, checking on my dad's health and all that. And that's always, you know, good, but it's more of like I enjoy it. I'm glad I can spend time with family and everything, but I see it more as like a duty, not in a bad way, just in a very neutral and positive way, but I see it as a duty. And so then whenever summer vacation comes along, the nature of my work is that my clients tend to go away during summer vacation. Some of them go away for part of the summer, so I always know that as soon as like end of June hits, my schedule's going to change. And so I started thinking, okay, what should I do over the summer? And the other thing that helped a lot is I have a lot of like friends that are like literally like you know how they say blood is thicker than water, but I have some friends that are like even more loyal and loving than even family can be, you know. So but the thing is, they're all in faraway places, and so I don't see them on a regular basis. So it was really I think God knew it would be such a great help for me to have someone who lives here, you know, that you know, it's nice to just say, hey, you want to go for a walk, or, you know, let's go grab lunch or something, or plan a little day trip. But just getting to know them more, and, you know, knowing that they're there and literally they're living locally, it makes a big difference. So I'm very grateful to those friends who have just been very genuine, you know, and caring, and I can do the same back. The funny thing about that is when I lost Azura, I was like, I felt like I was going to explode, and that's definitely a grief symptom. But it was really, a lot of it was that I didn't have anyone to love anymore, you know, being single and all that. I didn't have anyone to pour all that love onto. and being single for most of my life also, that, you know, it was like kind of finally like I had this, you know, like dog, my baby, my daughter, right, in a dog form, in an animal form, that I could, you know, really nurture, cherish, take care of, look after, you know, all that. And then suddenly they're gone, and then I didn't have anyone to love anymore. And I think in life we have to have that. It's not all about receiving. Really, it's more fun to give. You know, whenever I travel, the highlights of any international trip I have is going to try their coffee, talking to the locals, seeing the beautiful sights, whether it's architecture, you know, man-made or nature, right, or God-made. And also food, right? But really, I love shopping because I want to buy things, like practical things that are beautiful, that come from that place. And then so when I, you know, give them to my loved ones, they're using it. It's like a useful gift, but it reminds them of me, and it reminds them of the experiences I've had, the travels. So that's the type of shopping and the souvenirs that I give. And it's one of the highlights of my trip, truly, is shopping for the people I care about. So giving and loving and pouring out yourself, your energy, being selfless, not being me centric, it's really important. And I think that is a big aspect of grief, but it's also a big aspect of life itself. It's not grief, but it's also very much a part of grief that we need to love. I'm sorry, my voice is so soft today. Hopefully I can fix my sound while I'm editing. So we need to love, and we need to pour out ourselves onto others. And if we don't, something really big is missing in life. So anyway, it was very, very helpful to have friends nearby that I can kind of receive love and attention and care, and also I can give that, you know, back as well. And it gives you a sense of purpose. You know, my purpose is, you know, my own personal purpose. I know what it is. I know why God put me on this earth. I know what my purpose is, and I have one. But like anyone, you know, going through dark times or down times, you doubt and you go, okay, well, I'm not doing very much. You know, if I were to vanish off the face of this earth, you know, like not many people will notice, you know. So that's the kind of thinking that we can go down. And so knowing that I make a difference in people's lives, and I'm loved, and I'm valued, and I'm actually contributing to this world, it means a lot. It means a lot. And so if you don't have that, I would say, you know, it's very, very likely that that might be a big piece of the puzzle that you're missing, that when you feel strong enough, you might want to pay attention to that and start actively doing things. Just look around and see, you know, what is your role? What can you do to contribute? So I'm trying to get you caught up to date. So I felt like I turned a corner. And the other thing I realized, I think it was 1 month later, 1 year and 4 months mark, I realized finally that the shock of Azura's illness and her death was so traumatizing. It was such a shock that I was stuck. And this, I think, is a very common thing. I see it all the time, that a huge part of me was just stuck. At the moment where she passed away, I was stuck there. And mentally, you know, physically, emotionally, spiritually, I was stuck there. Little by little, you know, more of me catches up, and I'm kind of in the present, but that's what I call like the zombie mode. Like, you know that you're going through life, but you're barely there. You know what I mean? You just feel like a ghost. And most of you, like the shell of you, is doing the work, you know, moving, doing this. You know, we're all moving around, acting through life, driving here, walking there, sitting at your desk, whatever. But you're not really there. It's just like the barest shell of you. And that's how I felt when I was in zombie mode. Often I get in the car and I just feel like I'm not mentally all aware, and so I have to stop and pray, you know, and ask God to give me alertness while I'm driving and safety, because I don't want to go out on the road and create an accident and hurt someone else, you know. So I feel like that kind of, I don't know if that's brain fog, but a lot of people talk about brain fog in different scenarios. So I just feel a little bit kind of like that, covering a lot of random things. We're getting there. So I did feel like I turned a corner, and I realized that, and it helped a lot because I kind of felt like I wasn't so stuck in the past anymore. Maybe it was around 1 year, between 3.5 or something like that months. That's when I kind of felt like I realized that. And then about 1 year, 4 months, I went on a trip. I took one of my friends locally here, went to Texas, and Texas is kind of like my home away from home. I really loved my life there. I lived there twice. You know, I lived there a couple years here, a couple years there, and then 3 years for my doctorate degree, and then moved here. And since then, I think it had been 11 years, I hadn't been back at all. Like, life just got busy, and I hadn't been back to visit Texas. I have some very, very good friends there, and so this was epic because I had been out to California so many times while I'm grieving. And the first time I went out there, not that I don't want to see my family or anything, but like I literally was dragging myself there because I didn't want to go anywhere. I wanted to stay home. I was even like kind of psycho, you know, protective of my home because this was the closest thing to Azura that I had left. You know, this was her home. She loved it. All her stuff is here. Her little furs are, you know, scattered around here. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't want to leave. But every time I went to California, it did help. I was glad that I was kind of forced to go against my will because I did want to go. So it's not really against my will, but like I knew I had a duty to go out there. So it helped. If someone said, hey, you know, you're not feeling well, why don't you come out to my lake house and spend, you know, like a weekend there, I would have just said no. Flat out. In fact, I did get invitations like to go to a beach house, you know, on the New Jersey shore. Refused it, you know. So I think those were all really important steps, you know, to keep me going every time I went out to California. Going to Texas was a totally different story, and I kind of didn't want to go, but I was like, you know what, this is really good for me. This is really good for my friend whom I invited. So, you know, we went and stayed with my really good friends in Texas. It was like a 5-day trip, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was truly a gift from God. It felt like a taste of heaven, and I didn't know I needed it. And being down there was so refreshing too, because the people and the lifestyle is so much more pleasant down there. And everyone here just seems like savages. Like everyone here just seems like they're in a hurry all the time. And it's me, 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 even on the roads. It's all me, 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 me. It's so selfish the way people drive. And that's a whole nother story. I could go on for hours about driving etiquette in New Jersey, New York, okay? But it was just so refreshing. I can't even tell you all the wonderful things that, you know, I experienced there, all the love and the support, and also partially like relating to my career. You know, I got to see some of the old haunts, and you know, in the classical music realm, it was great. Having a bit of fun with the South, the Texas cowboys, and like the whole cowboy culture, I mean, and just the Southern hospitality and just how beautiful it is down there. So you know, it's Dallas-Fort Worth. It's a gorgeous area. I don't know if I can really rave about any other parts of Texas. I'm sorry, but Dallas-Fort Worth is that did wonders for me. And it also brought me back to a time that, you know, when I didn't even know Azura existed. And a lot of happy memories there, some bad, but a lot of happy memories there, especially the last 3 years I was there. Really, really happy memories. So I just had a great time, you know, being with like really, really beloved friends. And I got to you know, do some cooking there, which was also really foundationally important, because one of the things that's been contributing to my health struggle after Azura passed away is that it was too sad for me to spend time in the kitchen. But anytime I cook for other people, I'm a happy camper. I cook when I go to California. I cooked Christmas dinner. You know, I love cooking, but I loved cooking for Azura. And so little by little I was coming around, but I just couldn't do the stuff that I used to do for Azura. And so going to Texas, there were just like one or two meals that I got to cook, because we were pretty busy, and that was just such a joy, such a joy. And my friends were very appreciative. It's like long story short, but you know, I love cooking for health, and so you know, some of my loved ones, they have a lot of dietary restrictions due to health, and so I'm able to still create something really delicious and healthy, but that actually fits into their very strict, sometimes very strict dietary guidelines. And so for me, it was like a way for me to give and minister to their souls. Like I really could love them through food, you know, and that's kind of my language I had with Azura. I could really love her through food. She had a lot of health issues, and I could research and love her through food. Hopefully you guys get the idea. That's kind of the gist. So when I came home, I felt pretty positive again. It was very, very helpful just to give me that catalyst to start cooking again. So I've definitely been cooking more and, you know, giving food to friends. And then again, I have other friends who cook for me, and, you know, kind of along the same wavelength, where we want to eat for health, and also we love food. So it's tasty, it's for health. You know, that's one of the things that I love to research and do and talk about with a lot of my friends. So a lot of classical musicians are foodies, you know. So anyway, we enjoy that. So that has been a big turning point for me as well. So I'm very, very grateful for that. One thing about grief is that when you feel like the whim to do something, it's like surfing in my mind, that wave. And once you see that wave, you ride it, you get on it pronto. Don't sit there, dwell, you know, procrastinate, just jump on it. If I feel like I kind of want to read something, because I used to read like thousands of pages, you know, thousands and thousands of pages, and I kind of lost that fire. And so when I do, I get on it and I just start reading right away, and I really enjoy it. And so little by little, those things I used to enjoy, I'm able to participate in again. So I've been reading a little bit more, which is a huge victory. I've been cooking for health, you know, for me, for my loved ones around, my friends around here. That has been a huge win. I need to move around more, but also I've been working out, you know, and so that has been a huge win. One of my friends is a triathlete and marathon runner, so she's been working out with me. I toyed with the idea of getting a personal trainer for a long time, because I just hate the gym. The only time I'll run is on a tennis court when there's a ball I'm running after, tennis ball. So that has been a huge win. Luckily I can do you know, like at least work out a little bit here and there semi-regularly. So grateful for that. It's been so hot outside, so I haven't been walking outside, but anytime the weather is tolerable, I will walk, you know. So I definitely been increasing my walking. So yeah, a lot of positive things have happened. So I just wanted to give you that update. I'm running out of memory in my camera, so I will you know, speak more later about just grief in general. I've come to more and more conclusions about my own grief and what grief means to me, and it turns out it's not grief the way that it was presented to me by society. It's totally not what it seemed like. And so I've been doing a lot of research. So anyway, for now, that's somewhat of a catch up from, you know, 1 year to a year 5 months. Azura's birthday is approaching very soon, so I'm making plans for that. I've talked about it in previous videos about, you know, what I wanted to do for Azura's the day she passed away versus what I'll do for her birthday. A lot of people celebrate the Gotcha Day. I call it homecoming. So Azura's homecoming is you know, in a few months. That's later. I don't have to think about it right now, but I guess to me those are the 3 days. Mother's Day was sort of relevant, right? And then my birthday was a little bit relevant. So those are kind of all the anniversaries that are on my mind. So anyway, more about that later. So anyway, take care. If I don't continue, you know, filming on another separate occasion, take care and see you next time.